California Governor Gavin Newsom. I've known Gavin since 1997 when I started going to the Balboa Cafe he owned. And he was just a business owner that on Thursday nights, women just lined up to to meet with him, and all of us other bachelors. I've said this before. I'll say it again. We were we were all lined up to meet the women who wanted to meet them because they were all really eligible bachelorettes. Very true. Uh, and Gavin has always been genuine, nice, always ambitious. And I didn't know, however, this part about his mom. And he talks about that here with Dana Bash on CNN. And I'll just get a segment of it because it's very dear to me.
Off a little bit, and she had an old binder of photographs, and she was talking. My sister and I were the two that were with her, both sides. And then she started dozing off a little more. My sister said, I can't do this anymore. She didn't want to be there for the end, and she took off. And about 10 more minutes of that, it was just my mom and I. And the doctor came in and administered the final dose, and those last breaths, I'll never forget it. And I was angry that I was there. I was angry with her. At the time, I was for years and years. Why would you do this? Why would you? There was nothing. There was nothing calming about it. It was not a romantic end. She struggled, and she'd struggled her whole life. And I'm realizing and now I realize it. How selfish and self-absorbed, as I suggested I was, that I never had a chance to say thank her. Never really had a chance to say I love you. Thank you for all your sacrifices. But over the years and through the process, I'm telling you, what a gift to be able to write something. I started realizing, that last breath, I'm still, that's extended through me today. That hand I'm holding is her hand. And she's, I'm an expression of her. She's still alive in me. I've been able to come to grips with it in a deeper and a different way. And it's also allowed me to recalibrate my life. And so much of this is about an honest assessment of self, just grinding, trying to be something, trying to make up for someone I felt I wasn't. I'm not smart enough. I mean, we talk about my dyslexia, my learning disabilities, how I struggled, how insecure I was, sweaty hands, and always trying to be something. And how in this process of understanding that and uncovering some of those, where those anxieties come from, it's allowed me to let a lot of things go.
You're obvious. And so, that, like I said, I came to know Gavin from 97 to now. And most recently, he helped me on a situation. You know that I'm here with my mom. Regarding the DMV that he just stuck his neck out and said, hey, look, call this person, do this. This was handled. The one thing I can say about Gavin that I don't think he realizes, I haven't read his book yet. Gavin, I'll read your book. Don't get upset. I'll read a book. I'll get it. But is his empathy. I remember I came in with my then girlfriend, Michelle the Balboa, another time, and she was prone to be nervous about just the slightest thing. And the Balboa was packed, and her first response was, "Oh, this is too much. I can't deal with this." And I said, "Oh no, it's okay. It's it'll die down after a little bit. A little bit was after like a few hours." But I didn't say that part. And so Gavin was with Kim Gorfeld, his then wife, um, and they were all always kind enough. For one thing, they always sent Christmas cards. I really appreciate that, out of the blue. And so I walked Michelle over to meet Gavin and Kim, and she was just almost frozen. Not so much because Gavin was at that time then a county supervisor, uh, or that Kim was an attorney. She just that's how she was. Okay, and so she said something to Michelle said something to the order of, "I'm sorry, I'm just really not comfortable with this environment," and Gavin said, I mean, without missing a beat, without missing the beat. Don't worry, I'm the same way. And it really calmed her down for for a little bit, and we sat down and eventually went over to the bus stop where there was nobody there, and more to her liking. But what amazed me then, and I more than appreciate now, and that's why I think he'll be a fantastic president. He's already a great governor. Is just he's a great person. He cares. He actually cares about people. That's not a fakery thing. Okay. The one thing that I will say, however, that came out of that conversation about his mother is, um, I know a lot of people in the Bay Area, Oakland and San Francisco, who are super ambitious, and many of them have reached lofty heights. Um, but there's a casualty, and the casualty in Gavin's case was uh, a lost relationship with his mother. And I vowed a long time ago I would never do that. And I would always be there for my mother, and that's why I'm here. And I don't care what anybody thinks about it or says. Um, as far as I'm concerned, that's my responsibility. And it's heartwarming to see Gavin talk about it. It's heartwarming to see Gavin admit that he was self-absorbed. Because look, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Uh, there is something wrong with being that way and not realizing it, but there's nothing wrong with understanding you were that way, and hey, dealing with the consequences of it. I'm self-absorbed, and I'm aware that every single day of my life I try to balance it. But given the way this economy is, and I call it the relationship economy, you have to think about your needs next, but you also have to do that in the context of other people. Uh, all my friends who have kids and grandkids now know that probably even better than I do. Anyway, I just wanted to say that Gavin, great, fantastic job. Run for president, please. I mean, I think you'll. I think you would be the great antidote to Donald Trump, because Trump truly does not care. I know you care. I know the kind of person you are. I remember when I visited your office in the early days of YouTube, and you were telling your then girlfriend, you said, "Hey, he's a YouTube pioneer. He's," and he said, "We learned a lot just watching him." Gavin, I appreciate that, because I've been at this for a generation, and boy, uh, I can't tell you the level of disrespect I get from people who don't seem to realize that. And I guess now at my place, I'm Zenny 62, because 62 is the year I was born, but now I'm 63, right? And you start looking at things that you've done, and the one thing that always sticks out with what I do is the number of people who never say thank you after I interview them. Help them get their word out or talk about them. I never get a thanks or call. I've never gotten a card. I've never gotten a thank you card at all. And you know, I haven't got a key to the city regarding the Super Bowl. There's a lot of things I haven't got, but I'll never stop. But I do think one of the things I do have is a friendship with you, and I more than appreciate that. All right, so run for president, dude. I'll talk to you later. See ya.